What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. If you haven't already heard, it's been an amazing weekend for the Marvel Avengers community. We just got the Operation Future Imperfect and Hawkeye Hero drop, which brought a new villain, new story, the free upgrade for next-gen consoles, as well as the ability to replay the Reassemble campaign and customizable harm rooms. If you haven't heard about some of this, make sure you open the card you see above in a new tab and watch that when we're done here. What we're going to do is we're going to break this roadmap down with some more detailed information that we received from the devs during their community update stream on March 19th on their Twitch channel. Link to that in the description below. This includes a few more details on what to expect for the War for Wakanda expansion that includes the hero drop for Black Panther and a lot more. If you have fallen off or decided not to give this game a chance, now is a great time to do so because the future of this game is looking really bright. But before we can start on this breakdown, if at any point during this video you learned something, you're interested, or even just a little bit entertained, please consider leaving a like and subscribing because it's a free way that you can support the channel and it really does make a huge difference. Before we get into the coming special events and the big content updates as a whole, I want to talk a little bit more about the additional content features and ongoing improvements they mentioned at the bottom of the roadmap. All of these things below are things the community has been begging for, and the team has confirmed that they are working on them in order to provide a more impactful experience through and past the endgame. This includes providing bigger, better, crazier boss fights that require teamwork and communication in a multiplayer environment. They specifically mentioned Omega level threats and that they are still in the bug fixing phase, but as soon as they're ready, they're going to be pushing them out. And guess what, guys? It's not just Cloning Labs and the Super Adaptoid we're talking about. They've got several Omega level threats in the works right now that across the board are feeling the same issues, and as soon as they're ready and these problems are resolved, we're going to get multiple roughly around the same time. They wish they could get the Cloning Labs out sooner because the events take place much closer to the end of the original campaign, but unfortunately they just couldn't make that happen for us. Next, we're going to combine a couple of things here because they all kind of work together to better the endgame experience. So the devs want our post-level 50 progression to include more specific and more meaningful character customization. They don't want us to see small incremental changes, but big changes that can affect how our character plays. One of those things is the ability to keep gear with stats and perks that you like, and the ability to modify or change gear that you don't. They didn't go into specifics, but I assume this could be done via a crafting system or reroll for stats or perks. That's kind of the direction that I'm figuring they're going to go. They go on to say that the power level increase needs to happen in order for this new gear to feel different and work different. This change to our gear is apparently being implemented sooner rather than later, which to me is huge. A part of this change is how we collect and use the comics we've been collecting in-game. So if you've been farming from chests, I've got big news for you. The way those comics work is about to change. Currently, as you collect comics, you get tiny incremental stat boosts for every 5 or so comics you collect. Now, the way it seems is you'll actually be able to equip a certain set of comics in order to provide unique changes to the way your character plays. This is all a part of the changes coming to make our heroes feel and play more like the heroes that they are. It really seems like the developers are trying to make the way we play this game unique to the player themselves. All these changes revolve around balancing and the way we play the game itself. Now, let's get into the content and special event updates they've got headed our way. Starting with Tachyon Anomalies. Coming later this spring as a limited time 2-week event, they're going to allow us to play as any combination of our favorite heroes. So if you want Iron Man ×4 or Hulk ×4, if you want 2 Kate Bishops and 2 Hawkeyes, any combination you can think of, these Tachyon missions will allow us to do so. And based on our feedback, this may be a returning limited time event or a one-off experience. So be sure to sound off in the Discord and the Reddit and let them know how you feel about these upcoming events once we get them. I'll leave a link to the Discord and the Reddit in the description below. Coming up next for spring, falling in line with the release of the Black Widow movie, is the Red Room Takeover event. Also a limited time experience, this one includes the arrival of Yelena Belova and her plot to place some sort of mind-controlled chip inside AIM troops and potentially even the Avengers. This event will also see us trapped inside the harm room. Yelena Belova is going to force us to escape the harm room, but it won't be the regular harm room as we know it. This unique harm room will include layouts designed specifically for this event. Now, not only do we get special limited time event, we'll also see the arrival of MCU-inspired cosmetics. Now, there's a lot of heat on Reddit about the word inspired, but the dev said not to put too much stake in the word inspired, so that may mean the skins are just going to be on point, but the characters' faces may not resemble the actors for the movies quite so much. This has been a highly sought after change to the game, so I'm still excited to see how this works out. What MCU skin are you the most excited for? Tell me in the comments below. Up next is the Cosmic Cube event, which is a brand new villain sector featuring the Scientooth Supreme, and in order to avoid spoilers for those that may not have finished the Future Imperfect storyline, I'm not going to say much more than that. But this boss fight is not your regular bullet sponge type of fight. This is the first of many incoming changes to boss battles that provide an increasing challenge to endgame players. As I mentioned earlier, they're looking to give us bigger, better boss fights, and this is just the start of that. Next, and probably the change that I'm most excited for, aside from the War for Wakanda expansion, is Wasteland Patrol. This includes a new Warzone mission type that is currently slated to be a limited time thing. This would include a new Warzone and assignments within the Wasteland region. Phil, the head of the Warzone development team, says that if we really enjoy this patrol feature, it may expand to other biomes and areas. But what is Wasteland Patrol? The goal for Wasteland Patrol is to have an open space not bound by mission structure that the community can explore, fight, and farm freely. They want to have a large, fresh, open space that we as a player base can connect in with our heroes. Once again, if this feature is popular, it may expand beyond the Wasteland into other areas, so be sure to let them know how you feel about it. Now, let's talk about the War for Wakanda. Simply put, it's more than a DLC. This is a game expansion. This is where the mission for the Avengers begins to change and grow. Not only do we get a new hero in Black Panther, we also get a ton of new outfits for the rest of our heroes, as well as a power level increase beyond 150. We'll be getting a new story, the Jungle Biome, which includes not just the exterior jungle area, but also all sorts of new interiors. We'll be getting brand new enemy types to include Ulysses Claw as a villain, and his army to punch around, a new outpost to hang out in and explore, and several other villain boss fights that they haven't mentioned to us. Obviously, they didn't go into how the Avengers story is going to change or where this is really going to go in regards to our endgame experience, but the future of this game is looking incredibly strong. The team is working incredibly hard, and I'm excited to see what they come up with, and now that we have a decent roadmap to go by, we can be hopeful of the things to come. One last thing is, if you're one of the many PlayStation players wondering where Spider-Man is on the roadmap, they did mention that they're working on him, but don't quite have a release date yet. If you've made it this far, please do consider subscribing, because I'm going to have more news from our Avengers team as we get it, and I'm going to share it with you as fast as I can. I've got more guides, tips, and lore in the works as we speak, and if you're interested in the Marvel lore surrounding this game, be sure to click the videos you see on your screen right now. Catch me live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, link in the description below. But until next time, stay out of trouble, make good choices, and may the Force be with you. I'll see you guys in the next one.